It cannot be understated how important recruiting is for the Florida Gators in the 2024 cycle. We saw improvement in the 2023 class, but this is the year that Billy Napier and his staff have to close with a top 10 class and be ready to take on the big dogs in some huge recruitments. We're going to start a new series that we're going to update often. But today we are going to look at the top 10 recruits that are on UF's wish list for the 2024 cycle. As a quick preface, yes, we could have just listed the top 10 uncommitted kids in this cycle, but we factored in a formula of them being targets for UF, having visited UF, having a relationship with this coaching staff, and some other factors to come up with this list that we've created. Also, once a player commits, he comes off the list, okay? He's no longer a target, he is a commitment. Hence why you won't see DJ Lagway on this list, though he is 100% the most important recruit in this class. Let's get to it. Number 10 is Walter Matthews. Matthews is a 4-star tight end out of Hiram, Georgia, 6'7", 245-pound junior, y'all. He's visited a couple times already. On3 has the Gators listed as his current leader. But Georgia and FSU are in the mix. This is going to be important because coming out of Georgia, you've got to think that playing for UGA is something that lots of kids that grew up there want to do. He has some upcoming visits with Ohio State and Michigan coming. UF really needs to work hard on getting him back on campus and soon. The more they can get him there, the sooner they can get him there and build that relationship, absolutely the better. I'm interested to see how UF's new tight ends coach does here in building a relationship because I am told that he had a great relationship with Piegler. So now that Piegler is out, I'm interested to see what can be cultivated from there. Number 9 is Ethan Calloway. We talked about him in an earlier video. He is a 4-star offensive tackle out of North Carolina. Y'all, he is 6'7" and 300 pounds as a junior. I'm going to say it probably 5 more times in this video, but you can't teach size. And Rob Sale and Billy Napier have a type. They like those guys that are at least over 6'5", over 300 pounds. They are building a monster offensive line a la Georgia and Alabama. There's a formula to this. On3 has Calloway listed as the number 8 tackle in the country for the class of 2024. He came to UF on the weekend of March 9th, supposedly had a great visit, really bonded with the staff, but UF is really going to need to work hard to get him back on campus as soon as possible, continue to cultivate that relationship, but that could be a really big pickup for Billy Napier. Number 8 is DeAndre Robinson. He is 6'4", 300-pound, 4-star defensive lineman. We told you about him in another video. He is out of Orlando, Florida, Jones High School. This is a state of Florida battle right now. UF, Florida State, UCF, and Miami all want a piece of the action here. Ultimately, it's going to probably come down to FSU and Florida. And this is one of those things where you have to win the battle against your rivals. This is where we'll start to see if Billy Napier is taking steps in the right direction because this is a battle that UF should take. And before we get to the next one, we released this video early to our members. We've gotten a ton of questions about how you can support the channel, and you can just by liking videos or subscribing, and that is always appreciated. But if you're looking to do something a little bit extra, you can click the join button right now. For less than a pitcher of beer at Swamp, you can get access to exclusive information, early videos, shout outs, giveaways, and more. We've had some of you sign up already, and we so appreciate it. So do me a favor and join the channel today. Number 7 on the list is Mario Craver. He is a 4-star wide receiver out of Alabama. DJ Lagway is going to be an important part of Mario Craver's recruitment, right? Like you want those stud wide receivers. Alabama is probably his leader at this point, but I'm told that UF is sitting really in a great spot with him right now. So the staff is going to need to make sure to continue to grow that relationship, make sure to have DJ in his ear, telling him about coming on, being a member of the number 1 class in the nation, which we know is Lagway's goal. He should be back on campus soon. He was visiting here in March. And I really like UF to continue to make good headway here. Going to be interesting to see the kind of relationship that Billy Gonzalez is able to form with him. Obviously, he was not hired the last time that Craver was on campus. So seeing what kind of bond they can form there will be important as well. But UF is going to stay in this ear, and Lagway is going to be an important part of Mario Craver's recruitment. Number 6 is Xavier Filsaime. He's a 4-star defensive back out of McKinney, Texas. He's 6'1". He's 180 pounds. He is a top 50 kid nationally, according to On3. He visited UF a couple of weeks ago. We talked about him a little bit back when that happened. He's probably a Georgia lean, but this one may really go down to the wire. Something that I think is interesting at this point, Georgia already has 2 defensive backs committed. Florida doesn't have any right now. I don't know if that will play a factor or not at all, but it is hard to turn down the national champions, right? But this is somebody that UF really has their eye on. They really want. It's going to be an interesting recruitment to watch. And again, I think it will probably go down to the wire. Number 5 is Colin Simmons. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. He's an edge rusher. We've talked about him in a previous video. He's from Duncanville, Texas. Y'all, he led his high school team to a Texas state championship in the largest classification. We always talk about how they do things differently in Texas. Football, high school football particularly, is a little bit bigger. So you know this guy has to be a dog, right? He's the number 1 overall edge rusher in the country. Every single report about him is that he is incredibly athletic. LSU probably leans here, but Texas is going to be really heavy in the mix as well, obviously being from Texas. He was on UF's campus last week. UF really likes his first step quickness. He has a really high-end motor. So, you know, it is important for UF to get guys like this. Their defense really needs help, and this is somebody that could have an impact almost immediately. Keeping it with edge rushers, you could probably have flipped Simmons and this prospect, but either way, next, number 4 is Elijah Rushing. He's 6'6", 225-pound edge rusher from Tucson, Arizona. 24/7 has him listed as a 5-star. On3 has him listed as 5-star range. He's also the 28th best player in the country. He's a legacy prospect, y'all. His dad, George, was a tight end for the Gators. This is huge. You have got to land your legacy players. This is where Florida can start to separate themselves, this Florida team, Billy Napier, from some of the teams that Florida has seen recently. You should automatically be the no questions asked, hands down leader for a legacy player. So we'll see if that plays into this recruitment at all. But if Florida's doing things the right way, it should. He should be taking an official visit this summer. UF really, really, really needs to make a good impression because who knows if he's going to be able to make it back on campus or not. I think maybe him being a legacy player makes him a little bit more important than Simmons in my book, but these are 2 very highly rated prospects at the same position. Either one or both would be a huge get for UF. Number 3 is Jerrick Gibson. He is a 5'10 and a half, 190-pound running back. And y'all, UF has a stable of running backs right now, but they are going to need to replace Johnson and Etienne at some point relatively soon. And Gibson was originally committed to Dan Mullen in this class. It's going to be interesting to see if Napier can get him to come back home. He is from Gainesville, Florida. Right now he's at IMG Academy, 5-star running back. Supposedly he's leaning Texas right now, but there is no reason that UF can't get this guy. He was on campus at the end of January. He's been on UF's campus more than he's been anywhere else, right? He probably grew up a Gator. If you grew up in Gainesville, Florida, this is what you wanted to do. You wanted to play for this team. And this is a situation where Napier needs to capitalize on emotion, capitalize on being the hometown team, and bring home the number 1 running back in the nation, according to 247. UF needs to get back in here. This could be a really big pickup, and I really think it could show that Napier is moving the program in the right direction recruiting-wise. Number 2 is Fletcher Westphal. He's an offensive tackle from Leesburg, Virginia. He also takes snaps on defense too. Y'all, when he visited UF a couple weeks ago, he checked in at 6'8", 334 pounds. Said it before, I'll say it again. You can't teach size. He's the number 11 tackle overall, according to On3 Industries. He is being described as nasty. Offensive line is one of the only positions where that's totally okay to say. He loved his visit at UF. He loved the emphasis on 2 offensive line coaches. He should be setting up another visit soon. This is a big time need and someone that I think UF could do really well with if they continue to put the pressure on him. He has NFL potential. He has huge size. This needs to be a get for Billy. Number 1 is currently committed to a huge rival. His name, Jordan Pride. He's been committed to Florida State since July of 2021. He's 6'2", 175-pound safety out of Blountstown, Florida. That's in the Panhandle, for those of you that don't know. He is a top 100 player nationally. He is a 4-star athlete. He plays basketball, baseball, and runs track, along with obviously playing football. He's the number 7 safety in the country, according to On3 industry rankings. This would be a massive flip for UF. UF did it last year with Rod Kearney, and Pride is the second best player on FSU's commitment list. This would be a huge flip. It would fill a huge position of need, and it would be a huge win for Florida against their biggest rival in the state. I know that he loves Corey Raymond, and I think that Raymond coaching the entire secondary will ultimately make the difference here. We'll have more on Pride in another video coming up soon, but I do think that he ends up flipping to Florida. So there you have it. Those are the top 10 most wanted recruits at the moment. This is going to be a really fun series that we're going to change up from time to time. I'm not sure if it's going to come out monthly or at key points in the recruiting season, but we'll make sure you're subscribed so that you can catch all of them. Hopefully UF can get a couple of these guys so then we can move them off the list, move some new guys on there. Again, if you're not subscribed, we have a lot more content planned for this channel. If you are a member, you got to see this early. If you want content early like this next time, make sure you join the channel as a member. If you want to see what Josh Pate got right and what he missed when he tracked the UF fan base's mood, go ahead and click right here.